Hello, everyone. Joshua Gilliland here, one of the founding attorneys of the Legal Geeks. Our spooky season analysis continues with The Nightmare Before Christmas. With me to cover this amazing film is Kate Bridal, who has gone to Comic-Con with us, WonderCon with us, and a bunch of other adventures. Kate, how are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm very excited about this because, yeah, as a firm middle of the millennial, I am big into Nightmare Before Christmas. It was very influential in my childhood. I had a massive crush on Jack Skellington, actually, which I don't know what that says about me, but him and Aladdin, it's big stuff.
Did you see the movie in theaters or did you see it on video?
I saw it in the theater. I remember seeing it in the theater, and then I begged my parents to buy it. So I definitely also had it and just watched it over and over and over again.
I saw it in the theater. It was a family trip. It was high school at the time. I am curious to see the different reactions to it and generational love because
Hmm.
it wasn't instant for Disney to convert The Nightmare Before Christmas into the Haunted Mansion. I don't
Mm.
remember when that happened, but it is fun to see.
So cool. Yeah, I saw it at the El Capitan. They played it while I was living
Ooh.
in LA, and they had a bunch of the props and the minis. You know how the El Capitan always does that. For those who don't know, it's a theater in Hollywood, and they when they play movies, they usually have stuff from the movies there, and so it was really cool. They had like the Curly Hill and the little figurines and everything. And I met Chris Sarandon at Emerald City Comic Con
Oh,
many years
nice.
ago, and he called me pretty, and I was like, Jack Skellington said I was pretty, and so my childhood crush really came back up hard.
Some people like claymation, and that's cool. So, or stop motion. So, yes,
It's
it's
creeps.
yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff. Good stuff. Well, let's talk about the many legal issues in this fictional town that's focused on Halloween year round. I know there are a lot of folks who would like to do that, that Halloween's their thing, or there are folks who are like Christmas is their thing.
Yep.
Uh, but let's get into the issue with Sally and Dr. Finkelstein, or
Mm.
Stein. The doctor created Sally. Is the doctor falsely imprisoning Sally? And as the legal standard in California is under California Penal Code Section 236, false imprisonment is the unlawful violation of the personal liberty of another. Kate, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think as we do frequently at the Legal Geeks, we have to think about the definition of personhood for one thing, right? Like, is Sally a person? Does she count? I mean, obviously, I think she is. She has a consciousness, uh, and she seems to be a person. And I mean, obviously, in this little world of Halloween Town, there probably would be some different legal standards. But I mean, she's not even made of flesh, is she? She's like cotton and a doll.
And full of leaves. Yeah, that does make
Yes.
it complicated and weird because the law is not designed for uh, artificial intelligence of that nature. Uh,
Right.
but I will go with, let's say she's a person because
Okay.
she acts like a person. She meets the test of she's aware of who she is. She has aspirations, goals, feelings, and shows the self-awareness that I think would qualify as a person. Plus, communicates in a language. So, like, this is
Yeah.
before we start giving orca and dogs, personhood. Like, those are animals. It's a different category. She's more in line with a person.
And she
Uh,
does have a human brain, I believe, because later when you see him building his new one, he is putting a human squishy brain in her head, and then he
yeah,
kisses it and it snaps on his lips.
yeah, it's like half of his. So, which
Oh,
is
that's
a
right. That's what he does with her. But I assume maybe Sally then also has a human brain in her. So,
there is a narcissistic quality when you decide I have to make a lady for myself. It's narcissism. It's My Fair Lady, which also dates back to, Greek, mythology as well of you cannot create someone to love you. That's not
mm,
how love works.
Josh, the male loneliness epidemic. What are we going to do?
Well, it is real, but that's not the solution to learning how to interact with other people and participate in the rest of society. You
Correct.
can't. Are there a problem with guys feeling isolated? Yes. Is the solution to play mad scientist and make ladies? No. No. You need to learn how to participate in society and be of service to others and actually care about where you live. So don't just heck no, do not do that.
Well, in that case, yes, I definitely think there's some false imprisonment going on because she does not want to be there. She escapes frequently and he brings her back by force.
Pull from some case law. In order to constitute a case of false imprisonment, it is essential that there be some restraint of that person, but it is not necessarily that there be confinement in a jail or prison, any excessive force or express or implied threat of force by which, in fact, the other person is deprived of their liberty or is compelled to remain where he does not wish to remain or where they do not wish to go is false imprisonment. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we check the boxes here. That we have false imprisonment going on.
Yeah, because at the one point he's trying to drag her back and she takes her hand off to get away from him.
Yeah.
Or her arm, I can't remember, but he is physically trying to drag her back and she doesn't want to go.
Are you familiar with the Greek myth of Pygmalion?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
that's what My Fair Lady is based off of. Right?
yes, yes, it is, and also Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Let's keep going with some of the other issues that we have. That Jack's lament, he goes on a long walk, ends up stumbling into Christmas Town. There's a grove of trees. We see the other holidays depicted. He opens the door to go to Christmas
Yes.
Town, but doesn't go in, but he's like pulled in by a vortex.
Right.
And then he sees it, and there's the musical number. He dresses as a snowman. He's looking in windows. Kate, do you think he's trespassing?
Some of it definitely. Because isn't he in the kid's room at the one point when he's talking? He's when he's singing about their sugar plums, and the kid is like asleep in a bunk bed, and he's in there. He goes in the house and he creeps around.
Yeah, that's not good. I know he's looking through windows.
For
Uh,
sure, yes, he does that. And the
well,
snowman, I can't remember if it's like in a public-y area, like a park, or if it seems to be in someone's yard.
I think it's outside of buildings and on the sidewalk, or is it
Right.
right in front of a house or building? Yeah, like those are tough issues that you're dealing with on whether or not that's trespassing.
Right, because what is our definition? We're Californiaing again.
Yeah, so yeah,
A land under cultivation or enclosed by a fence belonging to or occupied by another, if you willfully enter upon that land without permission of the landowner or an agent, you're trespassing. Um, or if you're violating signs about trespassing, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. But I definitely think, yeah, he is definitely going into people's, he goes into one for sure. One house. I'm pretty positive.
yeah, it's we're dealing with one of the other cases getting into this, and this is from a Rouse grocery store. The
Oh,
jury consultants trespasses and unlawful interference with possession of property. The elements of trespass are the plaintiff's ownership or control of the property, defendant's intentional, reckless, or negligent entry into the property, lack of permission for the entry or acts in excess of permission for harm, and five, the defendant's conduct was a substantial factor in causing the harm. And that's from
oh, the
California.
harm element. That is interesting. I was thinking about that earlier. Because that does he cause harm? I don't know. Like the kid wakes up and he doesn't see him in there. He just kind of has a sense like
Yeah,
someone's in my room.
but the trespass that completes with theft, and because and we'll talk about this with the next
True.
issue, when he goes back to Halloween Town, he's in a snowmobile of
Loaded
sorts,
up.
loaded up. So it's like he took the snowmobile and all the swag that he grabbed.
Who knows where he got it? Because like it's Christmas town, so who knows if there aren't just presents falling from the sky or But it does seem to be that he does that no none of them know he's there. Because you could kind of assume like, oh, maybe he eventually did make himself known and they were all like, great, here's some stuff. But I doubt that he could get away with doing that. So I don't think that that's the case. I think you're right, and he takes it.
That it's heavily implied. I mean, would the
Yeah.
folks at Christmastown welcome a skeleton-looking dude who's like, "Hey, everybody," and
Yeah, he creeps around the whole song. So it certainly doesn't seem like he has any intention of revealing himself to them.
because
But
again, he's in a
taking a snowmobile is a bold move. That's loud.
and he's in a place completely alien,
Right.
to what he knows. 'Cause it's like absolutely no one's dead, and I mean, I won't break
Right.
the song because that's weird, and I can't sing, and I don't know all the lyrics. So again, a lot of negatives. But again, he's doing the what's this, exploring. It's one thing to be in the public square because it's a public, like where there's like a right to be, and he's well, it's not like there's a sign on Christmastown that says no entry or
Right.
trespassers will be prosecuted. Like that's not a thing. Again, when you're creeping around windows and looking in, like it's like we're now getting into invasion of privacy on top of trespass. It's like it's a beautiful musical number that people love singing along to. Like that's a
Yes.
fact. There are cons where that happens and people are having the best time with others who love this movie, singing their hearts out. That stuff is cool. But lawyers being the buzzkills as we are, we look at
Jack's
this,
going to jail.
it's
Yeah.
like, you're on the naughty list, dude. Like you
And
don't.
intent. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, please.
I was just gonna say there doesn't really see because there isn't that intent element because he doesn't mean to be. He's not intending to. I don't even know if he realizes that he's violating anybody's privacy. Although, you know what? Halloween Town has houses. I think he knows that going into somebody's house is not cool. But he's so caught up that he's not intending any harm. But that's not really an element of the statute, right? Because it's also negligent. And
Yeah.
I think we could argue that's what he's doing is he's being
It,
reckless or negligent in his trespass.
it's like, Your Honor, I broke into song. I was just caught up in the moment.
Before I broke into the house, I broke into song, and that makes it fine.
It's like, well, okay, he said he was sorry. It's like, I don't think he does. Like, I
Mm-mm.
don't think there's an acknowledgement until the end of, whoops, I made a bad life choice here. Which brings us
That's
to
part
the,
of the lesson. Yeah.
yeah, it's God forbid stories have lessons.
Don't appropriate other people's cultures. That's the lesson. Nightmare Before Christmas.
I don't know if that's the exact intent. I mean, because Christmas is supposed to be welcoming, like, welcome everybody, like we're sharing, like there's,
And they do at the end, they get along. But don't
they
take someone else's thing. You can enjoy it.
I remember the positive reaction to this movie when it came out, seeing folks having fun. And I remember leaving the theater with my mom and brother and thinking, what holiday am I in the mood now for? Because I felt very confused. And I don't remember, this is a knowable fact, if it came out around Halloween or if it
Oh,
came
what
around,
time of year?
yeah, if it came out
I'll
around
find out.
Christmas time,
I want to look
because
that up.
it's one of those movies that can be both.
Maybe they put it out in between.
Yeah, which again, that too would work. Again, money finds a way. So if you release it before Halloween, you could have a long theatrical run.
It was Halloween. It was October 29th, 1993.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
So yeah, I worked at a
That's what
movie
it would have been my instinct. Yeah.
I worked at a movie theater during that time period. Fond memories of this film. I then went to law school and became a buzzkill. Checks theft from Halloween Town or Christmas Town. We do see him roll up with a snowmobile with items from Christmastown. So let's talk. There's theft, there's larceny, there's a few things that could be going on here. So, just for the sake of what the law says about theft, every person who enters any house, room, apartment, tenement, shop, warehouse, store, mill, barn, stable, outhouse, or other building, tent, vessel, floating home,
Wow.
railroad car, locked or sealed cargo container, whether or not mounted on a vehicle, trailer coach, any house, car defined in the vehicle code, and an inhabited camper.
Aircraft too. Wow. They really
Yeah,
covered all of their bases on this one.
basically anything that has a locked door where people can be could be seen as larceny slash theft. Entering, you can get into an intent to commit grand theft, felony burglary. So again, it's a broad definition, and the issue is it inhabited? That doesn't mean it needs to be used as a dwelling purpose at the time of the incident.
I think
Uh,
this depends. I think this depends because he has to have the intent to commit the theft when he goes in. And do we think he did? We don't see this portion. We don't see where he's getting stuff. Do you think he breaks in somewhere and because he sees the presence and is like, that's, I want that? Or do you think he finds himself in a place and is looking around and is like, then he decides to take stuff? Maybe he is in a barn or a warehouse and he sees the snowmobile full of presents and is just like, I'm going to ride that home and show people what's going on, but he didn't necessarily mean to do that when he initially entered.
so neither of us do criminal law, but that's
I used to a little.
okay.
I worked for the public defender's office. That's why I'm taking the defense side.
Naturally, it's and you're advocating well. Okay, that's a plausible argument, but I think as soon as you get into a motor vehicle being taken, I do think
Yeah,
I don't see a good
that's some Grand Theft Auto.
yeah, petty larceny at that point of like, oh look, some packages. We don't like people who steal packages from front porches. I see more intent here, even though we don't see him breaking, into places. But someone has to miss that snowmobile. Enough stuff taken that people would notice, unless he's spread it out. It's like one item per household, but then he's entered multiple households. And I think the issue
Yeah,
then
and he's
is,
just done it. And by the second or third, he's obviously going in there to take stuff. So then you do have it.
yeah, it's like this is now pillaging. And it's
Right. I actually have a funny story about a package getting stolen off my doorstep once because so the only time it's ever happened to me, they were the least fortunate thieves in the world because all that was in it was a box of chalk and a copy of The Sound and the Fury. And I was like, have fun with some real dense reading material and a lot of chalk.
yeah, I have not
They
been
probably thought it was like an iPhone or something. They must have been so disappointed.
wow. Yeah, and crime doesn't pay.
There you go. You just get Faulkner. That's all you get.
Wow.
Homework.
I want an essay. That's your punishment. Um,
10,000 words on this absolutely borderline incomprehensible book, please.
let's talk about the entire town like decides to
Mm,
get in on this. And so you got the town getting into it and then Sally drugging the doctor so she could get out. Let's take Sally drugging the doctor with and having frog's breath and all that good stuff to incapacitate him so she could get out, and then we can get into whether or not a town can have a conspiracy.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on a form of self-defense to kidnapping can include lethal force for escaping? What are your thoughts on Sally drugging the doctor in order to get out?
Yeah. So I guess because we said false imprisonment for sure. Do we think she's kidnapped is maybe a slightly different standard. If you're created somewhere and then you are forced to remain in that place, have you been kidnapped? So if you are born, for example, in your home and then your parents never let you leave your home, is it?
That's definitely, I think, more on the false imprisonment side than
Yeah.
kidnapping, unless they take the individual somewhere. Like if you listen to the last podcast on the left, there was a very creepy German dude who built a bunker and like,
Oh,
yeah,
yes, familiar.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
took the daughter down there and kept her there for years
Yep. And then she had multiple kids down there.
through him.
Mm-hmm.
Horrific on so many levels. I think that's
Yes.
kidnapping because it moved her from one place into a place she didn't want to be. That's because there can be a fine line between the two.
But Sally seems pretty free to wander through the whole house, and she's allowed to go outside at times. She's not just trapped in the tower all the time.
And she does go back.
She does go back. She in that incident, yeah, she does. She just wants to go see Jack.
Yeah,
She's
it's
got a
nice.
crush, and she's got to poison her dad to get out of the house to go see her boyfriend. That's all.
But they're not established yet. That part's not
No,
important.
no,
But
no,
the
it's not.
drugging dad to get out of the house.
I don't know. I don't know if she's got it here.
Yeah,
I think that. Mm, I mean, I love Sally. I want to defend her, but I don't know. This would be a tough one.
yeah.
I
I
think
think
you could say she was like under some manner of duress. But then, like you said, all she does is she like brings Jack wine and then she goes home.
it's not like she escapes.
Right.
It'd be a very different situation if she escapes the dude tormenting her.
Yeah.
But she goes back and that continues to be home.
And she's obviously thinking of it. Well, she does it regularly and comes back. That's just her way of doing what of like sneaking out of the house to do what she wants.
Yeah, and it's again, how old is she? I mean,
Right.
that's where like the issue of Frankenstein comes in. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it looks like a 35-year-old dude made up of other dudes. Is
But
he
he's
is
only been
he
alive for a year,
yeah, but
you
the
know.
prior brain was like in its 40s. I mean, like
And he learns fast and he learns to read and yeah. I don't know.
it gets super complicated when because that's not normal. Like that's not what we experience.
And
Uh,
she does present as pretty much an adult, kind of a teenage girl. Yeah, like if there was a girl who her dad was just really, really strict and she was continually knocking him out with drugs to leave the house, I don't know that that girl would have a much of an argument, to be honest.
yeah, but if it's knocked the dad out and then goes to Child Protective Services,
Right.
that's different.
Right.
That's a very and like that's not what's happening here. She's not looking for
And I don't know all the rules around this, but you could maybe get into like a an argument of like continued, you know, kind of like they do with domestic abuse cases that sometimes end in tragedy, murder. You know, that there is a continuous kind of state of duress, and everyone always, of course, in those cases, is like, well, why didn't you just leave? And it's like, because you're an idiot. But you know, because things are complicated and people get brainwashed, and you know, especially when it's a like parent-child relationship, is very complicated. So you know, maybe there's something there that you could defend her, that she's continuously kind of under this stress.
agreed. I don't like the victim blaming. Like you can't if somebody's in a bad situation where it's whether it's like a horrific family situation or a nation, like you can't just be flippant about, oh, why there were enough Germans that didn't like the Nazis. Why didn't they stop it? Moving forward, can a town have a conspiracy? For those who don't know the rules with conspiracy, it's an agreement by at least two people to engage in a criminal enterprise. Jack recruiting people to go after Christmas Town sounds like a conspiracy, but then elected officials get involved and it turns into a matter of town policy.
Mm-hmm.
And as we learned in our Jaws mock trial, public officials deciding on a course of action is very difficult to prosecute or to sue them, and
Oh.
unless they're actually like planning a murder,
Well, they're planning a kidnapping
they're planning a
by
kidnapping.
an entity who is known to murder pretty heavily, I would say. He has a reputation, Oogie Boogie. Got a
Yeah,
whole little murder casino down there.
but Jack also says he doesn't want Oogie Boogie involved.
That
And
is true. That is true. But the officials get
don't
him involved, right? Is it the
it's
mayor that?
it's was it Lock, Stock, Barrel, the three kids,
Yeah, yeah.
and
But
so
who sends them out?
Jack sends them out to kidnap the Santa Claus.
Oh, right. But with the instruction that they not get Oogie Boogie involved. That's right.
What they do goes against Jack's instructions. Like they take the side quest with a separate conspiracy.
But after Jack dismisses Santa Claus, because they bring him to Jack first, they do
Yes.
fulfill their obligation.
And then he ends up with Oogie Boogie. Yeah, this gets
Mhm.
weird because from a policy standpoint, there's not often you see a town engaged in a criminal enterprise. And
Right.
if it is, it's like a war crime.
They are intending to kidnap him. So,
But it's like we're taking over Christmas is the issue.
mm. But you know that the kidnapping is an essential element of that part. So
Yeah.
you know it's gonna be happening. I keep thinking of like mafia cases, like
Yep.
conspiracy cases that I was taught, you know, if you have a town that's run by the mob, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very weird mix of what's happening here. I think there's a good criminal conspiracy at issue. The fact it turns into a town policy is just weird. Uh,
Yeah, but I don't think that stops it from being a criminal conspiracy in this case because it is very blatantly a crime.
Listening to last podcast on the left, which is doing a series on Himmler right now, you
Ooh,
know, like concentration camps had support towns. Like,
right.
it created business, and the town existed to survive the camp, sustain the camp. There are other examples of like a industry builds up and there's a support town for it. You could art prosecute, like, okay, you're involved in a war crime. We're going after everybody.
Prime example is a good one because I'm trying to think of another instance where it's like because Christmas Town, they almost seem to be more like I know they're called towns, but they seem more like countries, really, because they're so different and hard to get to from each other. I guess not that hard. If you just walk into the woods, I guess no one's doing that.
It's like a nation state, like a city state.
And
Uh,
Santa's like their leader. It's kind of like they're kidnapping the president of another country.
yeah, again, we're dealing with fables and holidays. And so it's like this is beyond the king of mortal men that's at play here. But again, it is wacky and weird. But I think there's an argument that you could prosecute everyone that participates. Sally wasn't the only one not on board. I think, like everyone else is a collaborator that could up for prosecution. But then again, it's a Christmas miracle for them not to all end up before the Hague because there are other issues that take place. So
A lot of them.
it's a long, long list. All right, it's false impersonation. Jack pretends to be Santa, and while he's got the outfit and he's doing what Santa does, people immediately go like that. That's not Santa. What's your thoughts on it? Is there false impersonation taking place here?
Yeah, I think I'm latching onto the same thing you are, which is that it has to be a credible impersonation. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that it is. He's got the outfit, I guess, but he is clearly an extremely skinny, much taller skeleton man. He doesn't have like a mask that looks like Santa. He has like the beard, but he's obviously not Santa Claus. And as you said, everyone figures it out pretty quick.
Yeah, because he's doing his own spin on the delivering toys because the toys that have been made by Halloween Town for Christmas aren't normal Christmas toys. Raises the issue, are those defective toys or are they just inherently dangerous toys doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing?
I would say inherently dangerous. They know it. They know what they want them to be. They're doing exactly what the Halloween Town people would want their toys to do and what their toys do. So they're not defective. They didn't make it and it's acting wrong. They are just inherently dangerous. Definitely, I think on that one.
Yeah, I agree with that because again, there's a cultural difference here of like, what, isn't this supposed?
Right.
I thought this would be fun.
Right. Yeah. If a
Uh,
firework goes off in your face, it's not necessarily defective, but
No, no, you should not have done that. And but the kids don't who are getting this don't know that. They're looking at this going like, no, it's like there's the snake eating the Christmas tree, there's all kinds
my
of other.
favorite one. That kid's face just screaming is the best.
Yeah, it's very memorable. So
Yeah, the
again,
one's getting chased down the hallway by the Jack in the Box. Terrifying.
yes. which raises the issue, is there negligent infliction of emotional distress? I have my answer. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, slam dunk. Like there's no question. Like,
It's
uh,
definitely negligent, definitely not intentional. They were trying to bring joy,
yeah,
but mm,
yeah. You guys made a mistake. This is wrong, and you should not be making toys that hurt people. But thinking back to their song at the beginning, they're not mean. They think like having scary things is fun, just as people like scary movies. Like it's
exactly.
just because, again, getting into like satanic panic type mindset, just because you like a scary movie or video game does not mean you're going to go out and start stealing Ferraris and blowing up buildings.
No,
That's
no,
not,
it does not.
no, no, no. And the stats prove that. So we have let's talk about Santa. There's kidnapping of Santa, there's torture of Santa, and there's attempted murder of Santa. This shouldn't take long, but yeah, Santa's kidnapped, put in a
Yeah, they
bag.
sing, they have a whole song about it. It's called Kidnap the Santa Claus.
Yeah, we're going to call that a party admission.
Yes,
Uh,
I would say so.
I mean, they use the word kidnap in the song. They know exactly what they were doing.
Kidnap some random guy. It's
No.
kidnap this particular human being. Yeah. Or whatever he is, elf.
When Santa ends up in Oogie Boogie's lair, like he's strapped to a table. And there's like the spinning wheel and there's like rolling dice. There's all kinds of like weird games of chance happening. Yeah, well, we have torture. Like we have.
Yeah, for sure.
Once Sally comes in trying to save the day, also gets kidnapped because
She's tied
where's
up. Yeah.
nice having removable hands and legs, but that doesn't go as planned. And then Jack comes in and we get into attempted murder. Like you raised the attempted murder issue. Can you explore it for us?
Yes. So I think really the most compelling case of attempted murder is against Sally because he's jacking that table up and trying to pour her into the lava. And the only defense I thought of that he might have would be like, well, I didn't have the intent, necessarily the intent to kill her because I'm rolling the dice to see if the table is going to go far enough to dump her in. But then he rolls snake eyes and he hits the table so he gets 11, so he can dump her into the lava. So I think it'd be a tough one to not say that he was attempting to murder her and she only survives because Jack jumps in and saves her. And then he is launching everything he has at Jack and having the little robots with the guns shoot at him and all sorts of stuff. And he does say very blatantly, I thought I heard you were dead. You must be double dead. And then he hits the button and gets him going. So he's obviously trying to kill him. If you
Yeah.
can kill a skeleton, which apparently you can in this universe.
So it's defense of others that Jack is doing because
Yes.
there's a life-threatening situation posed to Sally and Santa, and he
Hmm.
goes in to save the day and does because that's what heroes do. And he also realizes, whoops, which gets into the public response before part of Jack's redemption arc of going in, like NORAD scrambles,
Right.
like, anti-aircraft guns are going off to shoot down the false Santa Claus. A country has its right to defend its airspace, especially from children who are getting harmed. So yeah, I would say everything that's a lawful use of military force to shoot down an active threat to the country.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and that's not even, I was about to say it's interesting Christmas Town has all that, but I forgot. That's like on Earth. That's like
Yeah.
normal time. They're visiting the US and other countries and doing that. And they're the ones shooting them down. I had a weird, I did not rewatch this because I was like, I know this forwards and backwards, which I still do pretty much. But there are a couple of nuances that I was like, oh, right. Delivering presents in Christmas Town. He's delivering presents on Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, which is, the portal connection between the two is not fully described, nor does
No,
it
it is
need to
not.
be. And the other places are teased, and we don't go there because
It's
Thanksgiving
mention
Town
of
could be
disbelief
super tasty.
or
Lots
super
of,
racist.
ooh, no, I just want lots of turkey gravy and mashed potatoes and stuffing. I think
Yes, probably what it is.
that'd be nice. Anyway,
Oh,
it's,
I do also have one more thought
oh
on the
yes, go for it.
because I hadn't even thought about the fact that Jack then does kill Oogie Boogie. But Oogie Boogie is he's like a collective consciousness, it seems, of a bunch of little bugs. And so Jack dumps most of them in the lava by pulling on his string, but then Santa crushes the last one. So is Santa gonna have to defend himself against
For killing a bug?
killing Oogie Boogie,
No.
though? It's his consciousness, right? He was a being made of all of these smaller beings.
Has he
As are
Santa
we all, really.
has Santa technically escaped at that point and the danger over?
Mm.
Or
There's one bug left crawling at him, and he just steps on it, and then he gets very huffy and in control. So I don't know that he was feeling threatened at that point.
yeah, maybe it's a warning.
Shots fired by Santa.
Yeah, it's like, again, thinking of the South Park where Red Sleigh Down, uh,
Right. Yeah.
where Santa says, just couldn't do it. I couldn't let him live. I
Hmm.
Is that what's happening here? So
I don't know. He just seems kind of pissed off, honestly. He's just like, but you can't blame him. He was just kidnapped by the man. I do still think it's, Jack was doing it in defense of others, and who knows if that one little bug could have crawled off and reformed Oogie Boogie somewhere. So,
Santa's needs a quality spa time because like I'm not
yeah.
quite sure if it's been a couple days that he was kidnapped and tortured. You could argue that Santa wasn't hangry or escaping being kidnapped and attempted murder would might have been under duress and not thinking clearly when he crushed a bug.
He's tied up on it. Can you lawyers will really relate to this. What if you had a court deadline or a trial and you were kidnapped and tied up and you knew that it was continuing without you with someone completely incompetent standing in for you? That's like the ultimate stress dream for most people, but especially I feel like attorneys especially. It's your busiest night of the year and this dude is keeping you from doing your job. Mm-mm. Justifiable homicide right there.
Crush the bug. Yeah, it's no jury's going to convict
Uh-uh.
because it's like when you think about planet Earth is in turmoil right now because of all of the horrific gifts that were dropped on children that arguably caused harm.
I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking about real life. And even up till you were like, because of all the horrific gifts that have been, I was like, uh huh. Yeah, we are. We are in turmoil. I was like following along with you. And then you said children. And I was like, oh, he's talking about the movie. That's the state of the world right now.
Yeah, everyone's a little freaked out and everybody needs a hug. It's like, yeah, again, rough time for everybody. So
Yeah.
everybody's stressed. Everybody's really stressed, right? With that said, again, there's forgiveness, like redemption. There are Christmas miracles because Santa's like, of course I can do this. Goes out and does it because that's what Santa does. And there's a detente and everyone plays nice at the end. So
Hooray.
yeah, it's like again, Christmas miracle, which is like again the moral of the story that we're all supposed to get along and not be weird about it.
Yeah, I want a t shirt that says get along and don't be weird about it. That's the perfect thing I want right now in my life. Get along and don't be weird about it.
Yeah, again, it's the Bill and Ted mantra,
Joshua
like,
Gilliland, 2025.
yeah, it's just again, Bill and Ted rules of be excellent to each other.
Exactly. We all need to, everybody needs to watch Bill and Ted. That is healing.
It is. Go have the Ziggy Piggy. Like it's just go bowling. Just
Hmm.
learn to be cool to each other. Oh, yeah, be groovy. That said, this is a groovy film. The soundtrack, I don't remember what anniversary it was, but it's like Patrick Stewart reading the story
Oh, yes. And Fiona Apple does the Sally's song. Yeah, I have that. It's beautiful.
yeah, very nicely done. But again, this is again, it's a holiday classic spanning two holidays. Like Disney has it up for a quarter, so it goes up in September for the in the Haunted Mansions. Like they'll keep it through Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, that we
Christmas
have.
is encroaching on Halloween now. I don't appreciate it. Like, there's already Christmas stuff. I'm like, it's not, at least wait for Halloween to be done. We used to wait for Thanksgiving to be done. Do you remember those days?
I prefer those days because Thanksgiving's not a
Me
speed bump.
too. So lame that
And
we
I'm
are
of the
doing that.
mindset that, Thanksgiving is truly established by President Lincoln during the Civil War because his two proclamations are very meaningful about people, giving stock in what they have. The country was in horrific turmoil with what was going on with the bloodiest conflict in our history. By way of comparison, if we were to build a Vietnam memorial style memorial for those killed in the Civil War, it would be the size of 11 Nimitz class aircraft carriers stem to stern. 11 of them.
If you've
That's,
never seen an aircraft carrier, that is massive. One is massive.
yeah. Now imagine being 11 long. Like that's
Yeah.
the number of people who died. And with that pressure and stress and how Lincoln looks like he ages 20 years and four is, the reminder of like what Thanksgiving's about. So Thanksgiving is not a speed bump between Halloween to Christmas. Each are valid in different ways. Halloween's a ton of fun. Kids are dressing up, having the time of their lives, going trick-or-treating. Like that's, to me, that's what it's about. It's fun having candy and waiting and, seeing folks and celebrating it. There are people who do parties. There are people who like dressing up. There are lots of ways to celebrate it. Thanksgiving, great time with family, friends. I happen to love turkey. Like it's a really fun, it's turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy. That's again, rock on. I suddenly want it. And then you get to Christmas. I also like turkey at Christmas, but I'm funny that way. All of those things are important. And it's like Thanksgiving's not a speed bump.
It's a moment to check in with gratitude and whatnot. And, all those good things to it's getting harder every year the last couple of years, but we're gonna find things of something.
Think about what those felt during the Civil War.
Right.
All of that aside, like don't lose faith is, I think, the important lesson of don't give in, don't surrender, look ahead. And because again, the country's been through stressful things before. Luckily, that has not included dangerous toys being dropped off by a skeleton man dressed as Santa, because who do you sue when that happens? So
Yeah, seriously.
that might be an interesting insurance claim
Oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah. Is that an act of mm,
that somebody
God?
you
A
like
God that we don't recognize?
you invited in someone to as part of a social contract by leaving out cookies and milk. You were good all year. You wrote a letter. You expected a nice present, and instead you get something eating the Christmas tree or chasing you down the hall. And the
Mm.
issue is, what would a homeowner's policy cover that for injuries sustained? I don't know the answer to that.
That is a good question, though. That's one to explore down the line
Yes,
next
that's
year.
a yeah, or go get a policy and see what that actually might entail, because that's an I don't know. Is it covered? Step one. Step one in reading an insurance policy. Look at what's covered.
Yes.
Step two of reading the insurance policy. What are the exceptions? Don't skip part one. Super important. Do not skip part one. A lot of people do.
Great advice.
So,
Theory, not legal, not technically legal advice.
not technically
Disclaimer,
legal advice.
disclaimer.
No, no. Like that, but that's how I would approach it. I'm not saying there are others who reasonable minds can differ and they would figure out some other way.
It's good advice.
So, Kate, you mentioned your other podcast. Where can people find your other work?
Yes. So I do have a podcast called Now It's Ruined. My best friend and I ruin everyday objects, people, events with dark history or facts about them. So we've ruined things like chainsaws, hammocks, gin and tonics, Hello Kitty. And we are doing a Halloween episode that is coming out October 22nd about Halloween candy. So get ready for that. And in that episode, actually, I learned that the first town-wide celebration of Halloween in the United States was in Anoka, Minnesota. I'm from Minnesota, so fun fact for you to take out to your friends. We're like try and get as much history as we can in there, and it's a lot of fun. You can find it on any platform at Now It's Ruined. We are on Patreon, we're on Instagram, and I am on Instagram and TikTok at Bridal Party of Five, number of five.
So what year was that first Halloween?
You know, I don't know that off the top of my head. I'm editing the episode now, but I don't
Oh,
re I'm bad with numbers, so she might have told us and I don't remember that, but I just remember it was Anoka.
it's okay. I'm cursed by remembering dates. So
Oh,
it's
great. We'd be a good team because
yeah.
I'll remember everything but the numbers in fact.
No, I'm pretty good with dates. So, all right. With that said, everyone, thanks for listening. Talking about Halloween is fun, and because it's spooky season, and we just did a kickoff for Thanksgiving and Christmas, so that's a little weird and new. But everyone, wherever you are, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay geeky. Take care.